Tracy Mommy Reads. I am back again with another video and another book review. Today, I'm going to be talking about, pull up the cover, Only for the Weak by Natasha Bishop. Only for the Weak. This particular book is in the romance genre, okay? This one I kept seeing making the rounds, and even when I read the premise initially, I think I was so deep in my mystery suspense bag that I was like, oh, I'm not ready for that. You know, my mood's not. I'm not ready for like a romance story or anything like that. And what I did is I put it on I requested it through the Libby app, right? And I said, well, whenever it comes in, I'll just start reading it. And it came in a lot sooner than I thought it would. So I dived right into it, and it was really cute. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. So basically, if you haven't read this one, this is about a couple named Janelle and Rome. Well, when the book starts off, they're not a couple, right? Janelle is the reluctant participant in her sister's destination wedding in Tulum, and the reason she's reluctant is because her sister's marrying her ex. That's messy. So Janelle and a couple of their friends, that are on the groom side, on the bride side, and then a couple of guys that are on the groom side, they all like go to this destination wedding, and they get there early for pre-wedding shenanigans or whatever before like the other guests and other family members arrive. But they all like know each other, like it's a small group. I think it was like 6 people total, like in the wedding party, and they all like know each other. So, it's not like they were strangers. But as far as Janelle and Rome's connection, like Rome is the best friend of the groom. So that's the only, she dated the groom. So that's how she knows Rome. But outside of that, they weren't ever like buddy. He even seemed a bit standoffish, whenever she was around him, like when she was in that relationship. Well, once they get to the airport and, get to the resort where they're going to be staying, it starts to become apparent that people are kind of pairing off, 6 people, 3 guys, 3 girls, or maybe it was 8, including bride and groom. That part I can't remember. But anyway, you start like, okay, pairing up. And Rome gravitated towards Janelle, right? And we kind of learned through reading the story and getting, I guess, like some backstory that he always kind of like had a thing for her. But, bro code. You can't be messing with your best friend's girlfriend. So I think that's why he kind of kept her at arm's length. But they were both available, extremely attracted to each other. So, they were going to be in Tulum for 1 week. So they decided to let the guards down, let the chips fall where they may. Let's enjoy this time and let's enjoy each other, but only for the week. Go back home, we got to go back to reality. We can't keep this up. So they were, like sneaking around basically, which, I was like, y'all sneaking around, but your sister's marrying your ex-boyfriend. Like the nerve of trying to spare somebody's feelings. Rome was like, that's my boy. I don't want him to. He married his girlfriend. So he's marrying his ex-girlfriend's sister. All bets are off. Everybody need to walk around and hold hands and do what they gonna do in everybody's face, because y'all don't deserve like any protection from their relationship. And that made me mad. But anyway, I really liked the chemistry between Janelle and Rome, and it wasn't like just the spicy stuff. There was that, but also like there seemed to be more. Like they had actual conversations. She listened to him, he listened to her. Like he would do little sweet things for her. Like, I'm sorry, I had to say this part because obviously this hit my heart. I don't know if y'all can hear this. The thunder is rumbling in the background. But you know how when you go on vacation, especially like something like that, like it's a destination wedding, and even though you're on vacation or in this beautiful place, you're busy running around doing all this stuff, you know, whatever. And she said that she really wished she could just have some time to read, have a few hours to read, you know. So I felt her on that. And so he rented like this boat. I think it may have been like a little yacht or something for her for a few hours, just so she could go out on the water and not be available to her bridezilla sister. Because that was another thing. She was having way too many expectations of her sister, with you marrying her ex. I'm still not gonna get over that. But anyway, so that was like a swoon worthy moment, you know, taking her out in the middle of the ocean, you know, disconnected from everything and legitimately just letting her read. And then he got into like what she was reading, and she got to talk to him about the books. Oh, that I really like that part, you know, for obvious reasons. But anyway, like, because I keep talking about it as far as like the ex and the sister or whatever, there was this simmering thing in Janelle. She didn't have any feelings for her ex, but just the idea that you're my sister, and you know, like, still didn't sit well with her spirit. And all of that kind of eventually came to a head because of how her sister was treating her. Then when her mom got there, her mom was, you know, on her sister's side, and it was kind of like a little blow up that also blew her and Rome's cover. And before the wedding, everybody knew what they were up to and what was going on. So then the question became, were they going to try to do this for more than just a week? Okay. There were some like bonus chapters after, you know, the wedding is over. And for as much as I really enjoy the story, you know, like I said, the chemistry, the banter, the just even the visuals and the imagery and everything, and even like that culmination, like where she kind of confronted her sister and her mom, I felt like we could have maybe like given a nod and wink at the end of the book to let us know that Janelle and Rome were going to continue to try to, you know, live their lives. And if you needed to like maybe eventually come back with a duet or do something, maybe, you know, but we got these bonus chapters that followed what happens after Tulum, after the destination wedding, when they do get back home between Rome and Janelle. And I get it. I mean, you know, I have read books where I wanted more, and I'm like, well, what happened between the characters? You know, but in most of those books, it wasn't as like they spent a lot of time together, even during that 1 week. I mean, that's a long time to have, like, for a time span in a book, you know, because if you're going day by day, you know, you're reading that. I felt like we kind of knew that it was inevitable and how they felt about each other. So for me, I felt like some of the chapters after that kind of just drug everything. And we just, because they were rushed, like the ones at the end, but it did not detract from the story for me at all. I still really enjoyed their story and their journey. And, you know, just reading about two people who like they had their shit together when it came to their relationship. There were no games, there was no guessing, there was no, you know, any of that stuff. Once everybody found out about them, they were like, well, everybody knows, let's do this. Let's keep moving forward. And I know that sometimes, like, you'll see stuff, especially like on Book Talk or whatever, like, and they talk about book boyfriends. Ron will definitely be one of them for me, because I just really thought his emotional maturity and, you know, the way that he didn't allow Janelle to like pull away and do that whole, you know, retreat into silence. Like, he forced her to be an adult and to talk about her feelings and communicate. And that's what made their relationship work. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. But it does appear that this will be some type of series. Like, I think that maybe other characters in the book, you know, because there was some canoodling of other folks, that they may be getting books. And I don't know. I mean, never say never. Because I thought that about the Pharaoh Sean books with the three friends, and I read them all. But at this point, I could say I'm not really interested. But who knows? Maybe the books will be even better than this one, and I will tip my toe in and drown into that story. So yeah, it was a really good read. If you love like romance stories that are like that show growth in the relationship, and it seems like a really sustainable relationship, not just some like, because some relationships that these authors write in these books is like those people are gonna break up next week. Like, we got the good stuff on page, but there's just something about them that makes you feel like they really would last in real life. But with Rome and Janelle, I think like you knew they were gonna make it, right? And it was just such a feel good story. Like she wasn't having to think about her self-worth and none of that type of stuff in this particular story. So if you like stories like that with solid male and female characters, stories with some steam, just something that's swoon worthy, but also has some drama, and I think that you would really enjoy Only for the Week by Natasha Bishop. If you haven't read Only for the Week, I would love to know your thoughts. I mean, I know I was kind of late to the party with this one. So it seems like everybody I know has read it. So if you've read it, let me know your thoughts or your favorite parts in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you like this video. And if you have not taken the opportunity to subscribe to my channel, go ahead and do it now. Thank you so much to everyone who has already subscribed. Also, if you know anyone who may enjoy my content, be sure to share my videos with them. Thanks again. You guys enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you next week. Bye.